Welcome to this masterclass where we're delving deeper into our happy brain model. Today we're looking for the lights within. Think thrive when you see this image. It's a representation of a thriving alignment of thinking, feeling and doing. It represents the coherence of the three centers, the three brain parts in our model. The reptilian brain, the mammalian brain and the pre-frontal cortex, all aligning to light up the thrive potential. When we're aligned and we're lit up this way, we get whole brain and body coherence. And for those who embrace the spiritual world, this is where we become a receiver to the infinite intelligence of the invisible worlds. In this space, we can hear curiosity and an endless thirst to explore the inner and outer worlds. Language is playful and thoughts are confidently expressed because they're aligned to grounded beliefs and values that bring thrive rewards. We notice free, unconditional giving and receiving. Nothing is taken personally. We observe flowing body movements in harmony with each other and within the environment. We are unaffected by the words and actions of others. There is body symmetry of left and right sides. We see our infinite potential to shine brightly, and we see this in others and in all things. We set goals, we take actions, and we learn from the experiences, so we boost our continuous learning light system. Think stress when you see this image. Sometimes we see red, literally, in ourselves and in others. We hear commentaries, opinions being spouted as if they were universal truths. We hear justifications and assertions that somebody's worldview is the right worldview. We hear fast, defensive verbal bullets. We notice extreme emotions that are freely expressed, sometimes volatile, unpredictable, and a heart that takes everything personally. Emotions dominate and must be dominated. You know, it's much easier to control others than to control self. This is a safe way to connect. People sometimes say, is this bossy or overpowering? We observe body tension. There may be asymmetry between left and right or top and bottom half of the body. We notice fast movement, agitation. As adults, we often get chronic illnesses because our stress systems simply burn out. Stress happens to everyone. Be clear, though. Be clear about your own signals of stress. Unless you're facing a serious threat, switch stress off. Observe stress signals in others without labeling or judging them. Because if you find yourself labeling and judging others as being stressed, it could indicate that you're perceiving them through your own stress filters. Think small when you see this picture. Sometimes the lights within appear dim, dull, or even absent. We stay small, we stay under the radar. We hear compliance and fawning. Yes, I'll please you. I'll say what you want to hear, because I'm weak, small, and afraid of everything. We notice internalized emotions and flat emotional connection. Sometimes dull lights can temporarily be rescued by red lights. They kind of help each other in a way, not the happy brain way, of course, but when somebody feels unable to self-determine, it kind of means that others can take control. In this space, we build lazy ways of being. We can observe floppy muscle tone and slow withdrawn behaviours. Withdrawal can happen to anyone from time to time, but unless it's needed for survival, switch it off. Helplessness is easily imprinted into a lazy brain. In this model, you can see a variation on a transactional analysis model called I'm okay, you're okay. In this model, we want to focus on the top right quadrant, and you'll already begin to recognize the similarity between our 4-box matrix and the use of any 4-box matrix. In this model, when we have thrive potential, thriving lights in self and in another person, we really engage all of the possibilities to step forward and flourish. When we have two stressed bodies together, it creates more stress in the bottom left-hand corner. And when there's a combination of thriving and stress, there's often an interference pattern that can set up stress, and only the strongest, most dominant state will be of greatest influence. So make it the thrive state. Be grounded and clear. In this model of the top right quadrant being the powerful place for a happy brainer to operate, even when your own thrive is totally flourishing, if you come into contact with somebody who is perhaps not yet flourishing, when you look inside them and you see their thrive potential, you already begin to set an imprint for them to follow. Our aim, therefore, is to walk the happy brain talk and keep ourselves in a continual state of thrive so that we may lead others to do the same. This is our first level of communication. We'll call it our thrive vibe. Make it your goal. When you look at another human being of any gender, age or size, look for their lights, the ones that shine brightly and the ones waiting to be lit up. That's your job now. Take a look at the screen, the 3 centers. The center of our thinking, our feeling, and our doing. We've indicated the behavior as a place somewhere in the lower abdomen, place which is often referred to as a center of chi or ki or hara or one point. Many traditions consider this as the center of your furnace, the energy, the fire in your belly, the fire within. And if we think of our reptilian brain as being based in this space, we can understand that it is the center for safety, for security, for certainty. And when this space is truly grounded and we operate with full alignment of our thoughts and our feelings and our safety, everything in the world becomes easier. The vibe that we give out is one of thrive. When we walk through this alignment. When we look at the heart space as the representation of the mammalian brain, our feeling, our connection to others and to ourself. And when we look at the thinking mind, the prefrontal cortex, in the head space for clarity of intention. We're always looking to align these 3 centers to create a coherence. If you're looking for a representation from our model, you might imagine that in that pelvic area, the seesaw exists, the one that you can tilt to your pelvis to the left, to the right, forward, back, and keep moving it until you find just the right balance of safety, of certainty, of alignment, so that you are grounding all the way down through your legs, down through the soles of your feet and into the earth. You might look at the heart space as having a symbol of the infinity symbol, the lazy 8, the sideways 8, one that connects the whole of you to the whole of you and connects you to the outside world, this continuous loop of flowing, of giving, receiving. No snagging, no sticking, just continuous flowing of emotions, adapting to each moment, each environment, and each person. And if you connect that infinity symbol down into the sacral area, and you imagine a continual flow between those two parts, this is a nice representation of your unconscious mind. The lower brain feels safe, stable, and balanced, and there's a continual flow and movement of emotions, giving and receiving unconditionally. This is your powerhouse. It's little wonder that people refer to the unconscious mind as the body. And then when you look up into the space at the top of the head, in the forehead, inside the head, the space of clear thinking, a useful representation here is the image of a flashlight. Where is the flashlight focused? Is it focused on the inside world or the outside world, or both? And the fluidity of being able to focus inside and outside with equal measure and appropriateness, of course, helps us to get much clearer about our purpose. So using our prefrontal cortex now, I'd like you to set the intention to embed more of this learning. I'm going to lead you through a very short guided meditation, one that ingrains these 3 centers into your own neurology. So begin by making sure your feet are firmly placed on the floor. You're stable and balanced and symmetrical, left and right side. Take your right hand and place it across your belly, so that the right thumb sits comfortably on the tummy button and the palm of your right hand cups around the belly beneath. As you connect into your own center of safety and stability, your own reptilian brain, notice the sensations that let you know whether your balance is a little bit too much one way or the other, forward or backwards, until you find something solid and stable, a feeling of certainty that sits in this belly place. And that certainty can grow down through your legs, through the soles of your feet and into the earth beneath, grounding you, helping you to feel safe. One of our primary aims in Happy Brain is to help people to feel safe first. And the more we practice this feeling, the more we create those strong neural pathways so that they eventually become automatic places for everyone to go to. We know in this space that if we need to respond, to react to a danger, the fire will light up in exactly the way we need it to. But we want to ingrain this solid, stable, safe, secure feeling. You can breathe in and out of this space. Breathe all the way down to the bottom of your torso, to the sides, to the back, to the front, to the top. You can expand this space within. Bring in colours or imagery, focusing on breathing in and out of this safe, stable place. And the more you make the out-breath last longer than the in-breath, the stronger and more stable this safety feeling becomes. And now I invite you to take your left hand and place it over your heart, the place of right feeling, of feeling in the flow, in the harmony of yourself and of all things. This flowing of emotions, giving and receiving, unconditional. And you breathe in and out of the heart space, to the bottom, the top, the sides, the front, the back. Just feel the expanse. Feel your intention to operate with pure feelings and flow. As you visualize this infinity symbol coming out from your body into the world around you, the flow of giving and receiving, unconditionally, effortlessly and responsively. And then as you turn that infinity symbol, turn it around to a vertical plane so it connects between the heart space and the sacral space, crossing over in the solar plexus. You can trace a flow of energy, of coherence, connection between the heart, between the mammalian emotional brain and the safe reptilian brain. And two become much more powerful than one as they're coherent, harmonious, and they flow. And you may be aware of certain sensations that lets you know, maybe a movement, a light, a colour, whatever it is that you recognize. And the more you practice it, the more you ingrain it in your neural pathways. We're always aiming to make this our default pattern, so practice well. And then you bring your attention up, bringing your right hand to your forehead, feeling the connection between your palm and the middle of your forehead to remind you of the clarity within your head. Clear vision, clear intention to thrive. And as you breathe in and out of this space, the head space, breathe to the bottom, the top, the front, the back and the sides, expanding the space inside this space. The clarity of knowing, the clarity of connecting to your own wisdom and the wisdom of others, of setting an intention. This is the space where we make good decisions, because we feed from the safe, flowing security of the lower brain parts as they feed up into this expanding light space inside our minds that help us to look out into the world and inside the inner worlds with great clarity, defining our purpose, learning from our experiences, now I invite you to put both hands in front of you in a cupped position, as if you were going to receive something. Because as you entertain the idea of receiving a gift from me, from Happy Brain, from all the wisdoms that have informed Happy Brain, from the invisible worlds, from your higher self, you can receive 3 little seeds into the palm of your hands. A seed that represents your infinite potential for your lower center, your infinite potential for your middle center, and your infinite potential for your upper center. That's the seed to grow your thrive reptilian brain, to grow your thrive mammalian brain, to grow your thrive thinking mind. As you receive these seeds, you may see them or feel them dancing, floating, swirling. Maybe you can distinguish between the colours or the shapes. Perhaps they follow each other on a dance through the whole of your body, lighting up each and every cell along the way. Or perhaps they simply find their resting place in each of the centres. Perhaps they travel through the palms of your hand, and perhaps you take your palms up to your heart space and allow them to integrate through the centre. But as the seeds take their rightful place, you can be sure that as you nourish them, pay attention to them, you can begin the process of flourishing even more within. And as you see yourself stepping out into the days and weeks ahead, knowing that you have an alignment of these 3 happy brain centers, you might see and hear and feel different experiences that remind you of your purpose. You might see and feel and hear different experiences that let you know that you are flourishing the happy brain way, realizing even more of your infinite potential. And you might be curious about what else is possible. And as you look out into the days and weeks ahead, you can be sure to notice the people around you, the lights within them, the lights that are brightening because you've connected to them. Remembering our purpose to supercharge thrive drives of ourselves and of others, and in particular the next generation. So a useful question in the days and weeks ahead is this thought or this behaviour helping me to shine more brightly or not? Another useful question when you're involved with somebody else is what I'm about to say or what I'm thinking about them. Does it help them to shine more brightly or not? And so I invite you to come back to your awareness of your breath and just feel an integration coming down through your midline from the crown, through the three centers, down through the soles of your feet, down into planet Earth through the roots beneath you, and then coming up through your feet, up through your midline, connecting all three centers, and then out through the crown of your head, creating a fountain, a rainbow fountain that shimmers all around you, going back down into the earth. This is your space within. I invite you now to take this space with you out into your future and notice the future you thanking you for making this change. So begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your body slowly, gently. Feel a stretch and a yawn as you integrate into your mind, your body and spirit all sorts of new conscious and non-conscious learnings. And I'll see you very soon.